Good morning. What's up, gang? How we doing, party people? It is Monday. Happy Monday, guys. I freaking love Mondays. I get like so antsy on the weekends, especially if it's like a low-key weekend where it's like I'm not running around doing stuff or seeing people. And don't get me wrong, like I love like that relaxation time and whatnot, but man, I don't know. I like working. I like what we do. I like doing deals. So I'm always happy to kind of get back to it on Monday, get back to like the routine, the schedule. I know I'm one of those weird people. I don't know if anybody else is like that, but I know I am. My fiance, she's like, "What's wrong with you? Like I could do this every day." She's like, "I love weekends where we don't do anything." And I'm just sitting there like, "What do you want to do? What do you like? Let's do something." She's like, "It's 9 a.m. on a Saturday." I'm like, "So you want to go to the gym?" She's like, "No." She's like, "Ew." All right, cool. What do we got going on? Update. First and foremost, I'm trying to remember the last thing you guys got to see on Friday, day 18. Today's day 19 of 30-day challenge. Man, we're like starting to get down to the wire. Oh man, Friday. So Friday, we kind of got left with a cliffhanger. With that deal on Beachman where we have the buyer lined up, we have a signed contract, but doing a double close just like is not really an option. And then we spoke to the agent and was like, hey, can we make this assignable? Didn't go as smooth as I was hoping it would. Right. So what happened with that? She also the agent also made it a point a few times to mention, hey, we might be out of contract because I don't think we've gotten EMD yet. So she was sort of pushing that. So, and she was like, let me talk to my sellers and I'll get back to you. So, few things. What did I do? One, I sent her a redacted copy. One, I sent her an email kind of recapping the conversation that I had with her. Hey, we're looking to assign it. This is what we're looking to do. We have the buyer lined up. We have an EMD from them. Here is a redacted copy of the signed purchase agreement that we have with our end buyer. You typically don't need to do that. Not typically. You don't need to do that. But for this conversation, for this person, these circumstances, I wanted to go a little above and beyond with being like, we are here ready to close. Because that's really what they need more than anything is they want to sell the house. They're scared because they're like, is this actually going to happen? Are you guys legit? Like, what's the deal? So we went a little above and beyond, which she was really thankful for. And then she got on the phone, and then we spoke again later Friday afternoon. And now that was an interesting conversation. Now, one, she was like, look, we're willing to make it assignable. But she gave a lot of pushback about the EMD. And she was like, look, we want 5,000 the EMD deposit. We want $5,000 released to the seller on Monday, because this is like Friday evening that we're having this conversation. She's like, I know it's like pretty much it's end of the workday on Friday. I know there's no way it can happen today, but she's like, we want $5,000 of the EMD released to the seller out of like good faith. I was like, no. I was pretty blunt about it. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes guys being really direct and blunt can be honest because it kind of lets them know like, oh, okay, like it's not like a negotiate, like this is like a hard stop. And I let her know flat. I was like, no. I was like 5,000. I was like, absolutely not. And so then we had a discussion kind of back and forth about that. And she's like, well, we've been through all this, blah, 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 blah. And I'm trying to, my thing was, I was like, we're closing on Wednesday. Is it really that big of a deal? But we still need a new signed contract from her. So, like at any point, if this conversation were to go really sour, she could just be like, you know what? Never mind. We don't want that to happen. So, Went back and forth with her for a while, and the conversation ended to where I agreed to where we'll lease 2,500. Now, guys, listen very clearly. Anybody that is wholesaling, especially if you're newer or don't have like a whole lot of experience, or if it's your first deal, like never do this. Like I would not recommend doing this for anybody. Um, like especially, and like don't be willing to do it unless you're okay with walking away from that money and not getting the deal or anything. If that's not okay for you, if you're like, dude, like I ain't got $2,500 that I could just walk away from, then don't do it. Then like either renegotiate, whatever the case may be, or be willing to walk away from that deal. Because there's so many things that could go wrong with that. This deal, the only reason why I even agreed to it is because we already have a $5,000 deposit from our end buyer. And basically, I was gonna like as soon as I got off the phone, I called their title company and I was like, "Hey, how can we make this work? Are we able to release, of the $5,000 earnest that our end buyer gave? Can we just release half of that to the seller? So it wouldn't have even been, my money. And the deposit's non-refundable anyways, so it's like either the buyer's gonna close, or if they don't close, well, it would have been our money anyways, and then the seller would have gotten half of that. So that was a discussion with the title company. Now, when talking with the title company, so we said, yes, we're going to sign an agreement. It'll be assignable. We can still close next week. The seller had to get a few things cleared for title. There was a couple hiccups with title. Not hiccups, but just there's some extra paperwork. There were some code violations and some other stuff. Not a big deal. So the plan was, hey, on Monday we're gonna sign a new purchase agreement to where this one will be assignable, and $2,500 will get released to the seller on Monday is what they're today, of the earnest. Now, when I spoke with our title company, one asking like, hey, what are the different ways we can do this? How can we make it work? Releasing the money. Two, most importantly, my cat's meowing. Two, most importantly, title informed us. They're like, hey, title's not clear on this. There's the code violation stuff that they still need to get me. A. And B, so this house was inherited to siblings. In this property, one of the there's two people that signed the purchase agreement. One of them is a brother who has power of attorney from the sister, who would have a say in this house, who would be a signer, but he has power of attorney and he signed. Now, title's like, hey, we have not been able to get in contact with the sister to pretty much confirm, because they're like, yes, he has power of attorney, but they're like, when it comes to something like this, we either still need her to sign, or we at least need to do, they kind of have their own process of where they kind of confirm of like, they have a conversation, whatever. And basically they need confirmation from her that like, she's like, yes, he can sign on my behalf for this, or like, yes, I'm okay with this transaction. Now this is like totally new to me. I haven't really come across this before. And basically this is actually really funny. This is similar to a deal I had. I think I told you guys about it on one of the earlier days. A deal that I had fall through one time in North Carolina, to where like we signed, closed everything, but it didn't fund because the seller was like, I changed my mind. And we talked to the closing attorney that was representing, like working on her side. And he's like, yeah, no, you're totally right. He's like, you have every right to close and whatnot. But he's like, dude, he's like, I could lose my license even though I'm not doing anything wrong. Like if I made this go through and she didn't want it to go through, and because I'm representing her, he's like, I could lose my license. He's like, this really sucks for you guys, but he's like, I'm just not willing to risk my license. So this is kind of the situation with the title company, where the title company is like, yeah, technically, they're like, we could just move forward and close it. But they're like, in this kind of scenario, any title company is going to want to verify this. This is what they were kind of explained to me. They're like, if we weren't to verify this and confirm with that other sibling, the sister, they're like, dude, we could, like, it could be a massive lawsuit and they could be out of business. So for them, they're like, there's kind of, we either need to get in touch with the sister to confirm it, or like we can't close this property. So where does that leave us? So number one, title's not clear. So at some point today, I'm probably going to have a conversation with the agent, because like, we're not giving anybody money. Like, we're not releasing any money if we don't even know if this property can be purchased yet. That's on them. So this is actually really helpful for us. Because this is a huge, like, whoa. Like, we might not even be able to make this happen, not because of us, but because of you guys, right? You got to figure it out. And I guess the sister's like, really hard to kind of get in touch with, and it's not like an easy, oh, here's a number, just like shoot her a call. So that's kind of what today's going to be about. Agent's probably going to be like, yo, where's my money? And then we're going to have to hop on the phone and be like, dude, you don't even know if you guys can sell this yet. Like, what do you think you're doing even trying to ask me for money? Because, like, that's the one thing is, like, when we have the conversation with the agent, I mean, it could go, who knows? People are people. You never know for sure what will happen. But as an agent who, like, she said she's been an agent for, over 20 years, anybody in this game would reasonably understand that it is unreasonable to ask someone to release money for these kinds of circumstances anyways, to release money when it's like, you don't even know if this deal can happen, if it could even transfer. Because at that point, it's like, dude, we're just like handing out money for no reason, right? It's not like title's clear and it's like we're ready to close on Wednesday. It's like, no. Like, we don't even know if title, can transfer. So with the circumstances that we have. So that's kind of where we're at. So then I'll get kind of figured out today. Hopefully we can still close this week. I think it will close. I just don't think. And then the other thing is, like, if it takes a day or two for them to sort that all out, and then they finally sort it out, it's like, okay, we're ready to close, like, right now. Then it's like, guys, do we really need to release you like 2,500? Like, we're closing tomorrow. So we'll see how it plays out. The other house. Now, the other deal that we got, a new contract that we got signed on Kawani. So we got that signed, I think it was Friday after. Yeah, I don't think I got to speak with you guys. That got signed, man, was it Thursday or was it Friday? Let me check. That deal, so I spoke with her. She was like, hey, let's sign it at 325. And I'm like, that's pointless. Like, I'm not even remotely close to 325. I was like, at 310, I told you I'll put it, like, we can do an offer at 310, but like, that's going to be like renegotiated. Friday. Okay, so Friday, I thought this person texted me was the assistant. The person texted me, who I ended up talking later on the phone Friday, she's the actual listing agent. And Glenda's the one we had spoke to. She's more of like the assistant, like helping her out. She's like the boots on the ground, because the listing agent's actually in like Miami. So this property we have under contract for. So she texted me. She's like, "Hey, the sellers are good to move forward at 310." So I'm like, "Okay, cool," because 325 would have just been stupid. Like, it would have felt like we're just wasting everyone's time. 310, there's still like a ways to go, but we weren't sure because there were some properties, like there was one that sold, like very similar property, sold for, a dude bought it for like 339, and he currently has it listed for 469. Now it's been listed for like 90 days, which isn't good for him. And they've done a few price drops. And it's priced really high. I'll be honest, it's probably very similar to that other house on the Beachman property, to where there's that listing to where a guy bought it at 280 and it's listed for 397. I think they're both flips to where, like, I'll be surprised if they make money. The flipper on that. And so when I reached out to my buyers, that was kind of a lot of the pushback that I got. They're like, dude, way too high of a price. The other thing is, and that was kind of one really nice thing I got to learn from this weekend, was a lot of the guys I spoke with, I pretty much got to like almost concrete. Nobody wants to buy over 300. Like almost none of my guys. Like not the hedge funds, not the flippers. They all want to stay, even if this, like they'll look at it if the spread's there, but I mean, it's going to need to be like a really solid spread, like really hard comps, and like they're buying at like 65% if it's over 300. They don't like ARVs of like 400 and up. Not our buyers anyways. And they all want to be at like way closer to that lower, that like medium price point, that much more affordable price point. That's where they want to be flipping. So I got a lot of pushback on that price point, A. And then B, I had a really good conversation. Yo, kudos to this dude. Dude calls me up on it's like Saturday night, like 7, 8 o'clock. He was like, yo, he's like, my bad for getting back to you so late. He's like, normally I'm a lot quicker. He's like, I just saw your text. I texted him on like Friday, or maybe it was Saturday morning. I don't know. No, I think it was Friday. He's like, yo, I'm so sorry for the late text or for getting back to you so late. He's like, normally I'm like way quicker. But he's like, I'm in Puerto Rico right now with my family for my son's birthday. I'm like, bro, you're calling, trying to do deals while you're in Puerto Rico, like with your family on your son's birthday. I'm like, that's the kind of guy I want to do business with. So we had a really good conversation. We talked more on Sunday. He took a look at the property and he was able to give me a lot of good feedback. A lot that I can bring to the sellers for, like, he was like, dude, he was like, that's going to be like a 60, 70K rehab. He's like, it's going to need a roof. It's going to need like absolutely everything. He was like, also the pool. So I wanted to I asked him about pools because I wanted to learn a little bit, like how much do like these specific things to Florida or Orlando, like what is the value when like a house with a pool versus a house without a pool? Like how much of a price difference? He was like, typically about 20 grand. If one house has an in-ground pool and the same exact house next door doesn't have an in-ground pool, he was like, people pay about 20 grand more for the house with a pool. I said, okay. And like, what does it cost for you to put in an in-ground pool? Now I know in-ground pools aren't cheap, but like, I want to hear from him. Like, what does it cost him? He said, he's like, dude, typically he's like, it's going to cost you like 60, 70 grand to put in a pool. He was like, for me, he's like, dude, he's like, I've got a great guy and I can do him dirt cheap. He was like, I can put in a pool for like 40 grand. I was like, wow, okay. So typically, if it doesn't have a pool, and this was kind of what I assumed. Like, I did not think a pool would be like, you put $1 in and you're going to get 2 back on. The only reason guys would put in a pool is if it's something that was required for that type of house for that neighborhood. So, for example, like this is like a lot more common if we're talking like luxury homes. Like, dude, you've got to have, like, there's going to be, stuff that guys have to put in a luxury home that they may not get value out of, but they won't be able to sell this property unless it were to have it. So that's kind of the deal. So typically guys won't do a pool unless it needs one in order for the property to sell. But so for these guys, it gives me a really good selling point where I'm like, look, this doesn't have a pool. I was like, the one that sold for 325 has a pool. I was like, it would cost us, I'm gonna be like, dude, it will cost us like 60 grand to put it in a pool and then another 60, 70K rehab. Like, these numbers just, it's not going to be able to be a good fit. The other thing is, like, the agent sold at 310 is a good price on the house. I'm going to explain to her why it's not. Because 310, like, they're not going to be able to sell it to anybody else for 310. Like, not even close. So, gosh, been doing updates for like 25 minutes. All right, let's do some work, guys. So, but that is where we're at with everything. All right, let me get the stuff all set up here. So let's get privy. All right, let's get our emails up. Also, I tried to set up a showing for Sunday at 3 p.m. and out of all the guys I hit up, I couldn't get anybody to walk it. So I had to reschedule that. Guys, one thing is if you do have to reschedule a walkthrough with the seller or an agent or whatever, don't let them know like 15 minutes beforehand. Like try to let them know at least, I mean, if you can let them know the day before, that's awesome. Or like the morning of. I think I let them know if there's like 3 or 4 hours prior to it. So just give them enough time, because if you let them know 15 minutes before, it's gonna piss some people off. I know it irked me. It irked me when Renato did it to us. Called us like 10 minutes before. He's like, "Yeah, bro, I'm 40 minutes away. I'm not really interested." I'm like, "Bro, come on, man." Okay. We've got this email. Let's get our privy email. Share my screen with you guys. Do. Share screen. Entire screen. All right. All right, let's look at some new deals. So that's one thing. So after our first few weeks that we really got to learn, I know guys kind of talked about it a bit beforehand, but I feel like this deal was kind of the real, like where I really kind of got it, where I was like, okay, they weren't just saying like, oh, I'd like to be around 250. Like they really want to be at like 250 or less. Because it was hard for guys to even give me a number on this property at 310. And like they weren't even arguing that it couldn't do an ARV of like 400 or more. It was just like they're like, dude, I'm not even interested in kind of touching something like that. All right, what is going on here? Winter Park. It's at Northeast Orlando. I don't know what's the deal with this tarp on the roof. It's ready to remodel. Okay, cool. Let's look at some comps. So ours is a 1959. Another thing that I've kind of started doing is on a 390 sold at 621. Yeah, that doesn't really seem to add up. Well, want to sell. Is I'm starting to sort by like date sold, just because it makes it really easy for me to have that conversation. One, because that's the first thing my buyer's going to look at, and it helps me easily. Like that's what I'm going to want to negotiate with the agent. Or it's like, yeah, I get you're saying this comp sold for this, but that was August of last year, and things are just different. Things are different. Oh, why are we scrolling? All right, so 396.20, 621. All right, so you see this right here. Well, this one's under contract. This one's sold. When did this one sell? Okay. I was gonna be like, ooh, maybe they were bought together. Dang, that's expensive. How long has this been active? So it just went active this weekend. So ours is a 3.3, 2,000 square feet. Does it have a garage? Only a one car. I do like that has three bathrooms though. That is nice. And ours does have an in-ground pool and doesn't look terrible. Let's sort by. Okay, so what's sold? So dang, it sold for 200K. That's a 4.2 1960. Okay, why did this one sell for so cheap? I mean, it looks like it probably needs work, but that is cheap. Now it is up over here, so it could be a different neighborhood. Let's see, 1957, so it was a 4.2. So that is one thing to take in consideration. Literally across the road here, all of this is selling in like the mid threes. And right here, this is selling from like 5 to 600,000. Okay, good. I thought ours was going to be right on the corner of this main road, which I would not have been happy about. Let's take. I mean, I think we're going to pass it and just make a call. All right, we're going to pass it. Pass off vets. Winter Park, Florida. So another thing, so we have our go-to buyers, right, that we found at the beginning of the challenge. Felix, hey, is this live? No, this is actually a pre-recording of me responding to. No, I'm kidding, man. Yeah, it's live. It's live. We're live. 100%. It is, and today's day 19. Happy to have you with us. So you get to see all of it in real time. What was I saying? Okay, so one of the things, so we have our go-to buyers, right, that we found at the beginning of the challenge. And those are the first guys that we reach out to on a property. However, in addition to that, we're always looking to communicate and find, more really, really good buyers. Glad you got a kick out of it. So what does that look like? So let's just take this house, for example. If I were to get this house under contract, first thing I do is I call my buyers that I already have, the dudes I already know, I've already connected with. Then what's the second thing I'm going to do? Well, I'm going to go to the comps on this property and I'm going to look. And I mean, the easiest way, so if we're using Privy, I'm going to look at these houses and I'm going to click through them and be like, which ones look like flips to me, from investors. And then I'm going to try and call those investors. So like this house is, I don't want to spend the time click on it, but we see it was bought at 370 and sold at 620. Now we would click on this and then we'd look at some more information to confirm like, okay, yeah, like they fully rehabbed this house, they bought it only 6 months ago and it's already, they relisted and it's under contract, right? So we're just going to confirm that it's definitely a flip. And then we're going to try to call the buyer directly first. And then, if there's absolutely no way we can get in touch with the buyer, then I would call the agent that listed this property and be like, hey, this looked like a flip property, is that the case? And they're like, yeah, it was. I'm like, cool. I've got one right around the corner that I think would be a perfect fit for your guy. Because that's going to be, one of the best buyers you can find are people that are doing flips right where you have your deal. Especially if they just listed like a flip and they're, looking for that next deal, or they already have their crews there, whatever the case. And it's like you can learn a lot too. Like, so for example, on our deal in Beachman. I called up the investors, the ones that bought that house for 280, and they have it listed for 397. I couldn't get in touch with the flippers, so I called the agent, and I pushed the agent kind of hard because like I spoke with the agent, and she's like, "Oh yeah, let me check and see." And it was the agent's assistant, and then she was like, "Yeah, they're not looking for any more flips." I was like, "Oh, are you sure?" And she's like, "Yeah." And um and I kind of kept pushing. I was like, "Oh, like why is that? It's a really good deal." Like blah blah blah. And basically, like eventually, she was like, "Yo, they are like completely not in the market at all for any flips." Which for me, I interpret it as like, okay, yeah, that like this one probably isn't looking too hot for them, and they're like, "I'm done with this game for right now, anyways." That'd be my guess. All right. So we added this one. We got to look up the dude's number. Let's see if it pops up here. Phone, I'll take it. Put that in here. Save. Back to Privy. We're good. All right. What's the next deal Privy sent me? Let's look at this. Nice looking house. Probably not going to be what we're looking for. Not really the market that we want, but we'll take a real quick peek on it. So list of 4 days. You won't want to miss this beautiful custom home. Yeah, custom probably not going to be for us. Looks nice. I wonder how far of a drive this is from like Orlando. Yeah, I'm just gonna mark this as it doesn't pass. One, it's really not in our market. Guys, don't be willing to take like anything anywhere. Like, don't just be like, oh yeah, like I'll look at any deal anywhere. Like we have buyers that even tell us that, and I'm just like, dude, you don't buy anywhere. Like you won't buy everything. Like I know that for a fact. Because what you're gonna end up doing is like you're gonna spin your wheels. Because like you'll look at something, you'll be like, well, oh man, 379, like this looks like it might be a deal. Like I don't know, and it's like you go to comps, and you're like, well, there's no comps here. There's just this one property. And it's like you have a hard time comping it. And it's like you don't really have any buyers for that area. And so you spend all this time just to like cancel a contract or eventually find out it's not a deal. We're going to say rural, not my market. All right, next one. So we just looked at this. So they must have made a change in the listing, and that's why we got notified twice about it. Now it doesn't mean we have like all these duplicates, like in like our privy. It doesn't mean we have like there's only the one property, which is nice. So this is Mount Dora. So we got 279, 32, 1955, one car garage. So let's look at sold date. Let's sell in February. So it sold for 332. Oh, that's a 94. Yeah, that is not our house. But that gives you some kind of idea of like literally like a week ago, this house sold for, and we didn't look at any interior pictures, but this house sold for 332. Ours is listed at 280. So as far as like flip, like one, we know our ARV ain't gonna be 332. We know that. And you know, even if it was like, let's say 330, like between 280, 330, that's not much of a margin, especially if it's going to need a rehab. So let's also look real quick. What else sold? This is 1925. That's sold. Dang, that thing sold for 210. Well, I would say ours definitely is better than this one. So right now we're between 210 and 330. This is a 1988, not our house. I'd say so. That's all for 330. I'd say it's nicer for sure. 325. It's built in 93. That sold for 325. It's 350. Yeah, I just don't think. I think ours is going to be like a lot closer to this, like a 238. Yeah, same year. I don't think this one has a garage, but yeah, we're going to fail this property. Well, what did Sam list? One for corner lot. Bring their imagination. You know what? We'll call them. I have a feeling this is like an REO, but we'll call them anyways just because we know for a fact ain't nobody going to be buying this house at this price, especially when they're like, yeah, it needs work and there's no interior pictures. A lot of times, guys, if it is a listing and it's not an REO, or just in general, if they don't have interior pictures with the listed property, like assume it's bad. It's because they don't want people to see the interior, like from the pictures, because they know people will be like, oh my gosh, no way. That's like the property that we have under contract for 310. We had to get the woman. She's like, hey, I have pictures of the interior that I can send you via email, but like they don't have them posted, so they don't want people seeing that. Because then people would look at it and be like, hell no, to the no, 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 hey, to the no. That's what we look for, man, all day. Now, like Nate, this is so like price point isn't even close. Why would we bother calling? Again, because we know it's ridiculously priced, kind of like the property that was $399, and for 310, and like in 4 minutes of the conversation, woman's like, yeah, can you make an offer at 320? That's an $80,000 price. That's a pretty big price drop. So this could be something similar to where like we call the agent and they're like, yeah, we know it's crazy and it'll never happen, and they're either going to be like, hey, you know, make an offer around this price range, or they're going to be like, yeah, like call back in like a month or two when they kind of come down to reality. And we get to make a relationship with an agent, most importantly. What's this dude's number? This is probably not his direct number, but we'll start somewheres. All right, and then we'll pass, save, go. Oops, bro, like everybody just texted and called me in the last 5 minutes. I just realized my phone was still on Do Not Disturb. Press for the weekend. Sorry I missed your text. Yeah, bro. I texted you like twice over the weekend. I texted you Saturday and Sunday. Changed his mind. He took it off the market. People are funny, man. People are funny. So that is such a perfect example. So the wholesaler I've been working with, he was looking at a different deal. And it's like half flipped. It's probably like 70% of the way there. And so he made an offer, and it's like, hey, we would take this as a cash offer, which would be 50 grand less than what they have it listed at. And they were like, hey, we'll be able to take this number. And then he was like, okay, let me think about it. And then he got back to him and he's like, yeah, I think we can do that price. And then they went on pause for like 2 days, and then they just got back to them. And they were like, yeah, we changed our mind. We're going to take it off the market. So that's kind of why don't spend a super long amount of time, just like doing research on a property and all this stuff until you have like commitments. Commitments being like a signed purchase agreement, or something along those lines. Because that kind of stuff happens all the time. All right, let's look at some comps. So ours is 5'2", 1,400 square feet. Where in Orlando are we? Okay, so northwest-ish. Okay, well, I like that. The cheapest thing here is $294, but that's an active listing. So these are the price ranges that we want. So that's good. So ours is a 5 to 1,400 square feet. It's got no garage, 1972. Let's look at solds. What has been selling recently? So pick this up for 150. This is a 96. Oh my gosh. Is that the one? I wonder why they picked it up for 150. That's crazy. They picked that up for 150? Yeah. I'm curious what's before and after. I mean, the after picture looks worse than the before, but it looks like same conditions. So this was, huh? Oh, okay. So yeah, it was an REO. So it was a foreclosure, and these dudes bought it. Well, I like that. So ours was literally listed today. Great for the price is firm. No blind offers. You must see the property. Cash or hard money only. So let's look at these sold some more. Let's see what's some of the stuff like right here, right next to it. Also want to see what is right next to it and around it. What's this neighborhood look like? Now the one big downside is it like every single one of these has like at least a one car garage. Like one car here. I think this one had a one car. There's one car there. So that is going to hurt ours. They growing back here. So this sold. So let's start by sold date again. So there's this house that's sold for 190. That's good. What's sold? So there's a 3.2, 1959, same square feet. Let's take a look at this. Doesn't look like it has a garage, so that's good. But I don't like that it sold for 167. Let's see. 220 has got a two-car garage. Two-car garage and it sold for 220. That's not very helpful. Let's see, 165. Okay, I think ours can beat that. That's a 2-1. How far back are we now? So December sold for 265. So 205 is going to be hard. Or 202. I don't think they'll get 202. just because, I mean, there's some of these where it's like, oh, but this one sold for 300, this one sold for 299. Let's take a quick look at these. Ours is a 1972. This one's a 1972. This one's got a 1-car garage. But here, like, here's where you're gonna run into, right? And it's not like a crazy rehab. Oh, okay. They've got an in-ground pool. Like that's, yeah, that's gonna be a big difference. Let's see. Need the baby monitor. On cash. There you go.
Thank you.
Thanks, Beth. Fiance making her debut. All right. So it sold for $299, and then so everything is like, this is all October and further back. And even this, it's all in the 2s. Where was I seeing like all the 3 stuff? Oh my gosh, my son is going crazy in the room next door. Yeah, so I'm gonna add this because I want to call and have a conversation with them, but like 202 is not gonna happen. I would be, I shouldn't say it's not gonna happen. I would be very surprised. Very, very surprised. I think people would probably want to pick this up like around 150, 160. A to Z. That's interesting. I wonder if this dude's like a wholesaler, and he's like listing it with like a flat fee, flat fee listing service. Let's take Orlando, Florida. Let's put this dude's name here, Romeo. I don't know if we'll be able to find a number for him other than the one at the bottom here. Some of you guys, if you're like, yo, Nate, like, why do you keep Googling? So this is typically the name of the brokerage and then the listing agent. Why do I keep Googling that instead of just, oh, they've got the list and the office phone right here? Well, because I don't want the office number. I want the person's cell phone. I don't want to talk to a dude at a desk. But if you can't find anything else, so let's see if this is the same number listed. Yeah, it is. So we'll just use this number. If you can't find anything else, then yeah, just call the office number or whatever that they have. And then I'm going to ask for their cell phone. All right. On to the next. Is that all of them? That's all of them. Okay, cool. Let's make a few calls on these. So let's call this dude first. First, let me text back. So this dude, Dink Grand Crest. Okay, thanks for the update. Took it off the market. Okay. Now, so that's another thing. The way I make offers, so that property where the owner was like, let me think about it, and then it sat for like, the wholesaler didn't hear from him for like 2 days, and then they heard back, and they're like, yeah, we decided to take it off the market. The way I do my process, the way I make offers, that was the most frustrating thing for me when I was doing sales. A lot of my sales process came from just oh my God, just hundreds of calls and hundreds of failed conversations and failed offers. And then just learning and tweaking and like implementing, like, okay, let's see if this works. And then, kind of finding like, this legit works. So I kind of found a way to like strategically make my offers so that I never had to deal with that again. Like I literally, once I started doing this, it completely took it off the table every time. Which is really nice. No problem. We'll get it out again today. Cool. Thumbs up. All right. Let's call this dude Romeo. 407 692. You know what? I actually first, because Dexter tried calling me. Let me call him back real quick because I want to know thoughts on 20 3.
How's it going?
Hey Dexter, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. I was just giving you a call before I text you. Was just giving you an update and let you know what was going on with that property.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I just wanted to give you a real quick ring. I wasn't sure if I just kind of wanted to get your feedback as far as what you think the buyers would need to be at on this property.
All right, let me check it out again real quick.
Because I know for this one, it's kind of like a little bit of a unique situation. It's listed ridiculously high, and I pretty much the price I went under contract with. I told the agent, I'm like, look, just know that we can get this on the table. Yeah, we can move forward with an offer at this price, but like I'm gonna have to renegotiate it. So that's kind of the understanding that I have, and I'm trying to figure out, hey, where exactly the buyers need to be at on this one. So yeah, because I kind of know at what I told you guys 320. I mean, I know that's a difficult and it's not like I have a big spread for myself there. So yeah, I was kind of looking to get some feedback and then hopefully be able to renegotiate it for somebody.
I got you. Well, let me check it out again real quick because I know. Yeah, I remember your price at 320, and I think I had the ARV at 400 on this one.
Okay.
I think they had it pretty close to ARV at their list price. So yeah, it would need to be, well, ideally. Let me see because I want to check out the pictures again one more time too. I have the link here.
Yeah, they didn't have much pictures.
Yeah, I remember that. I think, yeah, I see that. Yeah. And to be honest with you, on something like this, we normally be at like getting it for our buyers at like 260.
Okay, the buyers would be picking it up at like around 260.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit more than that. I mean, like honestly, that's what we kind of get it close to, and then we probably be getting it to them at the most. I'd say like 270.
Okay, got it. Now I know, yeah, that's kind of what I was like. That was like spot on, kind of what I was thinking. I know there's one kind of right around the corner that sold for 325. Now, one it was last summer. It was a little while ago. But like pretty much identical house, except and like it looked like similar condition on the inside. It looked like it was maybe a bit nicer, but pretty much like outdated, not clean. Needed a full rehab. Yeah, I know it sold for 325, but it had an in-ground pool in the back. For Florida, because I'm newer to Orlando, if I'm looking at a comp, one has an in-ground pool, one doesn't. What are you typically seeing in the Florida area? How much of a value difference does that make? When I'm looking at comps and stuff.
I take off like in between 10 and 20,000.
Okay, for the pool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, just so it kind of helps me get an idea. And then what do you think? Like, I don't know if you'd happen to know the answer to this, but for a guy to put in like an in-ground pool, just kind of a residential one, what roughly ballpark, what kind of price does that cost them typically?
I think honestly that's a little tougher of a question, but I like from my experience it's somewhere in between like 30 and 50,000 to install one.
Okay. Got it. Okay, that's helpful. Just because I know with this age, one of the things I told him, I was like, look, I'll come back to you with like, hey, here's what I'm looking at for rehab. And that kind of helps me with as far as the renegotiation part. Okay, got it. Well, I guess, yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, because it's a great area. I mean, because Castleberry is nice, man. It's awesome to have, a contract out in that area. And, obviously people are going to want it. So you may be able to get a little bit more than even, I'm projecting for it just because of the area a little bit, but it does need a lot of work. So I do think it definitely need to be in the higher twos.
Okay, got it.
Somebody
And
want to pick it up.
okay, no, that makes sense. Okay, so that's good to know. I didn't know too much about Castle there, so that's a really good spot. Really nice
Yeah,
neighborhood.
I actually grew up in Castleberry, man. My
Oh,
childhood was
cool.
almost in Castleberry, so like it's like almost like a cream of the crop as far as like suburb out of Orlando, but like didn't have to go too far yet. So now people are having to go further than Castleberry to try to still be close to Orlando. So it's kind of like it's rare to find a good list. That's why like most of the time when you find a contract, they'll be really outdated because the people who've had it forever. You know, and they didn't do any updates and they're selling now. So it's definitely a great place. Good schools, grade A schools. So
Okay.
nice.
All right, cool. That's good to know. All right, well let me see what I guess we'll see, one, if we're able to get any feedback on this one, and then two, I'm gonna try to renegotiate, and I'll keep you updated on that.
All right, yeah, man, let me know. I'm definitely interested.
All right, appreciate it, Dexter.
All right, yeah, have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye. Cool. So that's Dexter. He's actually over at Keegley. Couple things. So one, hey, I already talked about the pool this morning. Why did I ask again? Because I want to kind of confirm, right? I'm probably going to ask like 3 or 4 people and tell them like, yeah, this is roughly what a pool costs. This is roughly what a pool's worth. Because the buyer, for being real, he has like there is, whether he intended to or not, I mean, there is an ulterior motive there, right? Like, it's in his favor to tell me it costs more than what it might actually cost him, right? It's in his favor to be like, yo, this one doesn't have a pool. Yeah, dude, a pool is like going to be like a $30,000 difference, right? So I want to confirm that stuff by asking a few people. He more or less was kind of, so yeah, right around that ballpark. I'm going to assume a pool costs about 40. I think probably 40 to 50, to be honest. The value, he said 10 to 20. I'm going to assume closer like 15 to 20. And then we also got to learn Castleberry is a really highly desirable area. Now, nothing like, you kind of just got confirmation again of some stuff that I talked about. He was like, because of this area, he's like, really nice location, all this other stuff, like really desirable area. He's like, this one we might be able to sell at a little bit of a premium compared to like, your average run of the mill flip. So remember, guys, we talked about like good properties, guys want good property. Now, it doesn't mean that they'll pay anything, it doesn't mean they'll pay prices where they'll lose money, but you've got a better likelihood, of selling this at a higher price, pushing your luck a little bit with this one than just kind of something in like Pine Hills. But you still need comps and numbers to sort of support what you're saying. But guys are willing to push their luck a little bit more on properties like this than in, more average areas. Okay, cool. So we called Dexter. So maybe I'll renegotiate that today. The downside, though, is I didn't get a chance to talk with the agent yet, and do a walkthrough, because the whole point was that I was going to do a walkthrough and then get back to him with a rehab cost. But honestly, I'm not sure if I'll be able to get someone to go out and walk it unless I have it at a lower price. So maybe we'll call her this morning and renegotiate that if we have the time. Let's call Romeo. Romeo. Oh, 7-692-4075. Oh, left my water bottle downstairs.
Hello.
Hey, Romeo.
No, this is Jimmy. How can I help you? Well, the office phone doesn't pick up it. So I pick up. How can I help you?
Oh God, I was just looking to speak with Romeo about a listing of his.
Okay, let me give you a direct number.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. If he doesn't pick up, go ahead and text him. It is 407-900-0842.
0842. Okay, got it. And Just a quick question. I know I was calling about a listing I think you just posted this morning on Connor Ave in Orlando. Do you happen to know off the top of your head, is that that's not an REO or a bank owned by any chance, is it?
Probably not.
Okay, perfect.
He doesn't really do REOs.
Okay, got it. Okay, great. Okay, perfect. I'll try him at that number right now.
But I will tell you that all his deals are always cash only.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that works great for me.
Okay.
All right, thanks so much.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Sound like she just woke up. All right, let's call this dude. I'm gonna put his number in here. Take this number, throw it over here in case we need to. 407-900-0842. Let's call him up. (407-900-0842).
Please leave a message for 68.
And we're gonna call again.
Hello?
Hey, Romeo.
Yes, is it?
Hey, Romeo. This is Nathan. How you doing?
Lisa Siffett.
Excuse me?
From where? From where?
Oh, I was calling. I just saw a listing that you posted this morning. The one on Connor Ave.
Yeah, text me. I'll answer anything you have regarding text. Just text me. I'll text you back.
That's funny. So, in case you guys couldn't hear that, I could barely hear that. So, I'm like, hey, Romeo. He's like, who's this? I'm like, it's Nathan. He's like, be more specific. I'm like, I'm calling about this house on Connor Ave. He's like, yeah, text me. And then he just like hangs up. He's like, text me. He's like, I'll text you. That's it. And then hangs up the phone. But that's funny. So, important thing, called twice. He still picked up though. So you're going to get people like that. So let's text them. I don't like texting, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So let's shoot him a text. Oh, you know what? You know what's funny? I'm going to show you what it looks like when someone hangs up on you and you call them back. How do you handle that?
Please leave your message for.
So if you're talking direct to sellers, like this will happen a lot. You're going to get hung up on, you know, how do you call and navigate that?
Please leave your message for 689.
So I got 2 automatic texts saying, please text me. Let's try. Third time's a charm. He's probably going to be pissed.
Please leave your message for 689-242-2213. Sorry, mailbox is full.
Mailbox is full. So basically, all right, what do you? He didn't pick up. Bro, I don't know how that dude sells properties. So you get hung up on. What do you do? I personally, I mean, it depends on the situation. I like to immediately call back, and I'll call back like twice or 3 times, just like that. And even if like they're pissed off and they yell at you or whatever, and then hang up, and you call them back, this works every time. You call them to pick up, they're like, yeah, right, or they're like, whatever, aggressive tone. You're like, oh, hey, Romeo, I think we got disconnected there. Yeah. So, anyways, right? And then you get right back into it. And you have like a really lighthearted, friendly tone. And basically you're just like, oh, hey, I think we got disconnected there, right? And basically you give them an out. You're not being like, hey, I think you hung up on me, right? We don't want to say that. The goal is that we want to make an offer or get further in this process. So like if we were to leave him a voicemail, I would have been like, oh, hey, Romeo, it's Ethan. I'm sorry, man. I think we got disconnected. I don't know if it was on my end or yours. Give me a call when you get a chance, right? And that's the voicemail I would have left them. Great for flip. What do you think? What do you think this house could sell for after repairs? Let's look at some of this stuff. See this dude text back. So pretty much I'm just going to mark this as red. Why? Not because it can't be a deal. Like, I like the house. I like that general price point, but I mean, it's priced way too high. And honestly, that's just, like, working with someone like that is like, it's good luck, you know? My chances are better. This is Gerard. Here's the address. Okay, so he just sent me like a generic text, but from like a different dude. Hard money or cash, AC and roof. Tenant occupied until May. Pictures, video, comps. I can make a cash offer at 153,500. So when you kind of conduct business like that's kind of responses like in the people you're going to deal with. You're just gonna you're gonna get the person that's just gonna text you a really low offer, which is what I did. Versus, it could have been nice. We could have spoke. We could have had a nice conversation. Talk about how your Monday morning's going, and then I could let you know where I honestly think I would need to be at. But instead, it's like, no, I'm just gonna give you my stupid low number. And then you can get like agitated with it, and then neither one of us gets closer to doing a deal. All right, on to the next person. Let's call this dude. No, why does it do that? Is that the right address? Is it? No, Mount Dora. Mount Dora is what we need. Dang it. All right, let's do this. I love agents that don't want to talk on the phone. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's like I'm totally cool. Like, I understand some people are like, yo, I just don't like talking to people. But it's like, you made a bad career choice if that's what you're trying to be in alignment with. I don't think that guy was an agent though. I think he either did some type of flat fee listing. Because everything about this seems like he's a wholesaler. Like the automated text, he only does like cash only properties. So he looks like a wholesaler that probably finds deals and then just lists them, buys them and lists them, or whatever the case may be. I'm actually curious. Let me look at public records. No, nothing showed up there. No way this agent has a full mailbox too. Shake my head. How's this even allowed? Yeah, no, I hate the when you go to leave a voicemail, it's like a full mailbox. It happens. It's part of this business, guys, right? We're gonna run into people like that. Oh, gosh, come on, man. All right, let's do it over here. Okay, there we go. Let's exit out of this one. This one was being weird. Move this tab over. All right, let's call this dude. I keep looking over for my water, and it's not there. Who we calling? Robert? All right, let's give Robert a call. 383-7104.
Good morning, Dave Lowe Realty.
Hello, I was looking to speak with Robert.
He's not currently in the office.
Oh, okay, is there a better number I could reach him at?
Yes, hold on just a moment, please.
Perfect.
Our philosophy and goal is 100% customer satisfaction. We welcome and appreciate your questions and comments about how we can better serve you, one of our valued customers. Okay, you still there?
Yep, still here.
Okay, Robert is 352.
All right, 352.
406.
406.
9675.
9675. Okay, perfect. And then I was actually I was just calling about a property I think you just listed last week on Second Ave in Mount Dora. Off the top of your head, that's not a bank owned or REO by any chance, is it?
I do not believe so. Actually, I was just looking at it this morning myself. Let me see. No, it just says owner of record, so I don't think so.
Perfect. All right, I will reach out to him at that number.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye-bye. All right. Let's move this number over here. So we've got 352, 406, 9675. Man, but how about that hold music? Man, just like setting the mood for Monday. Do. All right, let's call this dude up. 352, 406, 9675. Hey, Robert.
Yes.
Hey, Robert. This is Nathan. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good, thanks. I was just calling about a listing I saw of yours on Second Ave in Mount Dora.
Right.
Yeah, I was just calling to see if you had a couple of minutes to chat about it, but it sounds like I might have caught you in the middle of something.
No. I'm fine. What do you need to find out? What would you like to find out about it?
Yeah, so just taking a quick look. I know it only looked like there was 1 or 2 pictures of the exterior here. I was wondering
because the inside is full of stuff. It's in an estate. The woman passed away back in December, and the one daughter that was her caregiver has been living there, sorting through stuff and everything. She's not doing a very efficient or quick job of it and everything. There are three daughters that inherited the property along with some other stepchildren, and it's a challenging situation because with all the players involved. But everybody has the same goal in mind to sell the house and settle the estate. It would have been impossible to have taken pictures of the inside of the house, given all the stuff, all the old clothes, all the woman had Parkinson's for like the last really badly for like the last 5 years of her life. So really not a lot was accomplished, and that's why it takes a little while to get to make arrangements to see the house, because the daughter that's living there, she really doesn't want to sell the house, because even though she has to, because she has no place to go. So she's not the easiest person to deal with. But I can, as long as I have at least 24 hours notice, I can strong arm her into letting us see the house.
Got it.
The house does have some challenges to it. There was a branch that came down on one of the porch, part of the porch roof in the back, and there's some damage there that needs to be addressed. It basically is a really great house. It's got good square footage, single car garage, 2 full bathrooms, 3 bedrooms. 1 bedroom and bathroom can be totally separate from the rest of the house. And you got a nice fenced backyard. It's a corner lot. It's in a really great neighborhood up there in Uptown Mount Dora. And there's flexibility in the price tag, given the set of circumstances involved. But I'm assuming you're still looking for the people from Glen Abbey.
I'm sorry.
Your buyers, are they the people from Glen Abbey?
I don't think so. What have we spoke before?
I thought we had, because the number looked familiar, and when you, I've spoken to a guy named Nathan, a salesperson named Nathan, about another listing I had. But
what was the address on the other one?
It's on Groveland Road.
You don't happen to remember the number by any chance, do you?
188, I believe it was.
188.
No, that was not. I think it was 188 Groveland Road. But I could be mistaken. There's on both sides of this, we talk to so many different people, and we never know. Hopefully, we think we have better memories than we do, and apparently I have a decent memory on this.
No worries. I don't. I think this is our first time speaking.
Okay.
Yeah, I could be wrong. I'm faulting myself sometimes.
Not a challenge. What are your buyers looking for?
So I'm actually kind of looking at this property for, obviously for a potential investment opportunity. And so I kind of bring 2 things to the table. One, I actually look at and buy properties myself. 2, if for whatever reason something isn't able to be the perfect fit for me, I've got a number of guys that are really good quality guys. So a lot of times if something isn't able to be, just the right fit for me, sometimes it's able to be a good fit for them. For this house, so I guess, well, first off, I feel for you, Robert. Man, it sounds like this is a really challenging one for you.
Well, you know what? Not every transaction that we engage in are easy.
Right.
A lot of times, when you're dealing with people in general, you can have some really great interactions, and you can have some very unpleasant ones. And I've been in the people business for a very long time. I also know the family that's selling this house. That's why I have the listing, because a lot of people would walk away from something like this because it is as challenging as it is. But like I said, the end result, the ultimate goal for everyone involved in this is to sell the house because they understand the need to settle the estate. There's other monies involved as well. And before anybody can get their money, everything needs to be done. All the I's dotted, the T's crossed. And like I said, that's everybody's ultimate goal, is to get everything done so that the estate can get settled and everybody can go forward and have closure and go on with their lives.
So let me ask this. I know there's a lot of different people involved. It sounds like the original owner that was living here kind of sounds like she'd been here for a really long time.
Actually not. They moved there about 6 or 7 years ago.
Oh, okay.
They have a big house in Zellwood that they sold, the husband and wife, they were both older. The husband ended up going to live in a care facility down in Fort Lauderdale near his children, and mom stayed behind with her children. And both of the principals are gone. It's just in the estate, and if you have the right people executing the estate, everything can be handled smoothly. And the people that are involved, we want this done by the 1st of June. So everybody's, like I said, working towards the end result of getting it. So
would they like it done sooner if possible?
They would like it done as soon as they possibly can have it done. If somebody comes along, likes the house, wants the house, and they've got the money and the numbers are make everybody happy, they'll close as soon as they can. The daughter that's living in the house, technically she has until the 1st of May to make her other arrangements. But if we have something that wants to happen, like the 1st of April, we'll make the arrangements.
Okay. Now I know you had mentioned there's a ton of stuff in the house that they got to go through. Let me say, is it stuff that like they want to go through and keep most of it, or is it most of it just kind of junk or trash they're looking to get rid of?
It's really challenging to say, because a lot of it is old clothes, and there's some old furniture, etc. Lots of times when a parent, your last remaining parent passes, some people can become emotionally paralyzed, and that's where the daughter that's living in the house now, that's kind of where she's at. Mom is taking care of her all of her life, and she's never really had a real job, and now she's faced with, what am I going to do now?
Wow. Okay.
Everybody that the other heirs in the situation are like, we don't care what you do. We just want this done. And what you need to do, you need to do it quickly. And that is what is going on in the house. There's when I was there a couple of weeks ago, there was clothes in the living room. There were clothes in both of the bedrooms. Just stuff everywhere. The yard has it's not as clean as the picture, that one picture, the couple pictures that are on the listing. If the woman would have a weekend yard sale, she'd be able to get rid of a good lot of stuff. And I could have that house cleaned out in 2 days.
Oh, okay, wow. Well, because one thing I was gonna kind of offer is, I don't know if this would be attractive to the family or not, but one of the things I can offer is, one, I'm able to purchase property, cash, right? So they don't have to worry about, bank financing or any of that stuff falling through. Two, because of that, I can move on whatever they want their timeline to be. If they, want it done in 2 weeks, we can make that happen. If they want it done May 1st, we can make that happen. Whatever works for them. I can be flexible with that. The other thing,
that's great.
The other thing I can do is I've done this before, is to, if there's a ton of stuff there, what they can do is they can just kind of look through it, and anything that they want, to either keep, or anything of value they want to sell, they can just kind of take and do what they want with that stuff. But everything else, they can just leave it there. And when I'm making an offer, if I'm buying a property, and I can take care of all of it, the clean out and getting rid of stuff. So that could, I don't know if that's something that they would be interested in.
Well, it really would depend on the price tag.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody comes in and they make a really ridiculous, significant lowball offer and leave whatever you don't want behind, we'll take it. They're not necessarily. We've had offers like that prior to it coming to the market, and
my guess is what they're probably offering like around like 180 or something.
Yeah. We need stronger numbers than that. Like I said, there is a lot of flexibility in the price. If the house was in the condition as it was when it was bought by the two primaries, we'd have a higher price tag on it, and it would be, because it is in such a desirable area, it would sell for more. But because of the unique set of circumstances, I can't, given my background in real estate, I can't price the house where it should be if it was perfect. And it's being honest with you, the price tag that is listed with it is probably a little high given what's going on there. But like I said, you got to start somewhere, and if somebody comes along and they say, okay, well, this number doesn't work for us, how about this number? Does this number work for you? And we'll take care of whatever you don't want to take care of.
Yeah.
If it's the right number, they'll be signing as quickly as they get the document.
Got it. Okay. Well, let me ask you, because my number one goal, Robert, is, kind of, I know you talked about some other people, they just call and make a super low offer. My goal is I never want to make an offer that would insult anybody. I wouldn't want to do that to the family or put you through that. And of course, that's just not necessarily something that I would want to do. I wouldn't want to waste your time or mine either.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So that's not really how I operate and do things. So no worries there. If it's something where I don't think I'd be able to do, I'll just kind of let you know.
Right.
I guess I do know, and kind of like you said, I know you'd mentioned it, you wanted to start somewhere. Totally understand. And you said there's some flexibility in it. It is priced a little high right now. I guess kind of the interior, I don't care if there's clutter, but the actual condition of the interior, does it need to kind of get fully rehabbed and updated, or what's the inside kind of like?
Let's see. The kitchen is a little older. I'm not sure what appliances are staying with the house, what appliances aren't staying with the house. If the house was empty, I believe all you'd really have to do would be to go through, repaint it, give it a little bit of fluff. The biggest major concern is the damage that's on the back of the house where the branch came down on the roof of the porch. That's the biggest challenge.
Okay.
And I don't really think that would be very costly to repair. It has, I believe the roof was done in 2018. So you're within the 10-year window that insurance companies like to stay in when it comes to insurance and being able to insure the house. So the house is insurable in its existing condition. I believe it's got newer windows, and it's got a newer perimeter fence around the backyard. The house, like I said, if the house were cleaned out, and people, a lot of times people cannot see through the clutter. Myself, I can go in and I can look at a house, and it's kind of like I Photoshop it in my brain.
Right.
I don't see the clutter. I see what's there and what the potential that's there, and then go from there.
I'm the same way. I totally agree with you. I don't know. It'd be really helpful. I mean, do you have even like maybe just some like a few pictures of the inside with like your cell phone or something?
I do have some pictures that technically I'm not supposed to use because they don't belong to me. They were pictures that were taken from a previous listing.
Okay.
But you know, the picture of the front of the house I did not take. The picture of the back of the house I did not take. Any pictures that I could send you, I have not taken. So I cannot, you know.
Got it. You got it.
I don't know what the legality of it is, but I could send you a couple pictures to show you some of the space, and you could you know, get a better idea.
Yeah, that would be really helpful.
Like I said, if you wanted to see the house tomorrow, I could probably make arrangements for it to be seen tomorrow. But that's up to you.
Yeah, what I want to do is I wouldn't want to kind of make you go through all that work and set that up just yet. I'd love to kind of yeah, if you're open to it, what I could do is I could text you my email address. I'd love to get an idea of just kind of the inside of the house, and because I'm able to get a really good idea of like, okay, I think I'm in this ballpark range, and then we could kind of have a conversation, and like if it's totally, you know, outside the ballpark, hey, no harm, no foul. You know, it's
Exactly.
I don't want to waste your time with a walkthrough and stuff like that. And if it's like, hey, okay, we're in, you know, we're sort of in a ballpark, then we can walk through and you know, kind of take those next steps.
That sounds great. So if you want to text me your email address, then what I will do is I will go through and I will pull, because you know, when I was doing research for the property,
Mm-hmm.
These pictures existed online, and I just photo captured them from online. So they were from a previous listing.
Are they at least relatively like is the house like today's condition? Is it relatively similar to those pictures, or is it like okay?
Yes. The only major difference is the fact that we've got the corner damage in on the porch in the back, and we've got all the stuff in the house.
Okay.
There are no broken windows.
Okay. Floor's not like ripping up and stuff like that.
But the pictures that I have, as a matter of fact, I when I was speaking with the executor about the house, I said, it's really criminal that we couldn't get this to look the way that it looks in these pictures, because if it looked like this now, there would be more money that we could probably get for the house. But
what do you think it could? What do you think it could sell for? You know, if it were fixed up, realistically, what do you really think it could go for?
I think it would be fair to think that you could get $3 to $315 for it.
Okay.
Of course, like I said, it's going to need to be painted inside and out, and the yard cleaned up. You could probably, without doing too much to the kitchen, just painting the existing kitchen cabinets. You got good square footage there. You've got over 1,300 square foot of living space, and then when you add the garage and the back porch areas, it brings it up to right around 1,900 square feet. So you'd be on a large corner lot in Uptown Mount Dora. That's very desirable. And you're a mile and a half from the highway system. So you're 45 minutes from the Orlando airport. You're 45 minutes from the Sanford airport. It takes you virtually no time to get around. That's one of the beauties of Mount Dora and the highway system now. I remember I moved to Mount Dora 40 plus years ago, and it used to take you an hour and a half to get to the Orlando airport because there was not a highway system that really brought you close enough. Now that we've got the highway system in place, even though there's construction on the highways, you can still you can to the airport in less than an hour. And
okay.
that's a big plus for Mount Dora. It really is, and not just this house, but anywhere in Mount Dora. Myself, I used to live 3 blocks from this house.
Oh wow, okay.
So I know the area well, and it's very, very definitely a popular neighborhood, and it's a good neighborhood too.
Okay, great. Well, okay, perfect. That's really helpful. I really appreciate the conversation. Yeah, Robert, what I'll do is how about I'll text you my email here as soon as we get off the phone.
Okay.
And then I'll take a look at those pictures and I'll kind of look at some more things on my end. And then what I'll do is we'll find a time to where we could reconnect and chat on the phone. And yeah, when we're, like I said, if it doesn't look like it's something we'd be able to put together, hey, no harm, no foul, not a big deal. But if it sounds like something, to where we could work something out, great. Would love to chat more.
Okay, great. And when you're sending me stuff, if you have a photo capture of your business card or something, that would be great too.
I'll be honest, Robert. I'm pretty low key guy. I don't really do kind of like the business cards and that stuff. So I'll put my info at the bottom. But yeah, I don't have any kind of formal. I don't really do any formal cards or anything.
Your full name and the name of your broker would be helpful.
Okay, I'm actually, so I apologize. That's one thing I should have mentioned in the beginning. So I'm actually calling like as the buyer myself, and I'm unrepresented. So I would be totally happy for you to represent me in this transaction, and you could get both sides.
That would be awesome. That would be really, really great.
Yeah, hopefully sweeten it up a little bit for you, at least, for going through all the troubles.
Well, that would be great. Whether I represent both sides or whether I'm just doing one side, I work for my people, and having my people be happy and satisfied with their representation is my biggest motivation. So
that's amazing.
Send me what you're going to send me, and I'll get the pictures together, and I'll email you the pictures, and we'll go forward from here.
Okay, perfect. Thanks so much. I'll talk to you soon, Robert.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye. Boom! That's what I'm talking about. Oh, Monday mornings. Let's go. All right. So you're like, Nate, why so excited? What happened there? Okay, good conversation. Let's break it down right after I text him my email. Let's text Robert here. He was a talker. Huh? Which I love talkers. I do to a degree. So one of the important things is we've talked a couple of times about like the power of silence. That's all I did the whole first half of that. Like I said nothing because I wanted him to just keep going and going and going and going. And because he gave me so much information, and like, I mean, dude, he told me everything. Like I didn't even have to ask any questions really. Right? He told me what's the situation, right? It's an estate sale. There's a bunch of siblings involved. It's definitely like a distressed seller situation. There's a lot of headaches, for any kind of traditional buyer to kind of make it work. The family wants to make it like they need a buyer that can be flexible and kind of put the pieces together for the perfect offer for them. Right? So guys, these are the perfect kinds of scenarios where it's like, well, what is a cash buyer? Like, what's the value of a wholesaler? These exact type of situations, right? Because we're able to kind of be flexible in putting all the right parts together. So that's the perfect fit for them. Now that one part, it might not be at the price that they want, but we're able to do this and this and this and this and this that nobody else can do. Like one perfect example is that thing that I offered that I threw out there of like, oh, hey, and people love that when you talk to sellers also. They love when you're like, oh yeah, like we even do this thing to where it's like there's any like big furniture or like any junk or anything that like you don't want, you can just leave it there and we'll take care of it. And guys, if you're like, well, dude, that's going to be an extra cost, make the house less attractive. Like you're putting that in your price. Like you're saying all these things before you tell them a number, right? And to do a clean out, like you can clean out a house for like $2,000. So like if that allows you to get like an extra $10,000 lower on the price, worth it, 100%. And it gives them like, saves them a ton of work and headaches and all this other stuff. All right, let me text this guy. Hey, Robert. It was great chatting with you. Let me text him my name. This is Nathan Valle. It was great chatting with you on the phone about the house on 2nd Ave. You can email me the pictures at I4 Express Buyers at gmail.com. Now, guys, the other thing, so another really cool thing with that conversation is, so he, right, we let him talk and talk and talk and talk, and we let him go for a while. And then he's like, you know, hey, they're not looking for low offers. We've already gotten some of those. Right now, here's the most important part: is that is a general term. We want to try and get more precise with that, right? What does that mean, right? So, what's one of the simplest ways any of you guys today could do it, right? When he says low offer, you just say, oh, when you say like low offer, what do you mean? Oh, well, I mean, like they were like offering like 160. Oh my gosh, wow, okay, yeah, no, that's pretty difficult, right? Or what I do is I like to make an assumption and let him correct me. I was kind of hoping he'd give me a better answer than what he did, but unless I really was spot on, which I think I probably was. But he was like, you know, really low offers. I'm like, oh, probably like 180. And he's like, yeah. Right. Normally what I like to do is I'll pick a really low number and they'll be like, oh, not that low. Like, you know, we've gotten at least the highest one we got was 205. Right. And then I know exactly where they were at. But for him, I said 180 and he's like, yeah, maybe I was spot on. Who knows? But I'm at least relatively like, okay, that's what a low offer is to him. And that's what other people were offering him. Which gives me kind of a good feeler of like, okay, well, where the other cash offers are at. And then I know, okay, well, don't say this number to him unless, you know, because I'm going to upset him, right? Or if that is really where my number's at, then I'm going to make sure I do it tactfully. That isn't going to kind of hurt that relationship. The fact that I had this conversation with him, right, that we had a conversation and I didn't tell him a number, even if my number is 180, it's going to go over 1,000 times better than the other person that's just like, yo, here's my offer. He's going to be far more receptive, receptive to it. Just because we had a conversation, we built rapport. Hey, Rob, this is Nathan Valle. It's great chatting with you on the phone about the house on 2nd Ave. You can email me the pictures at... Cool. Look forward to chatting again soon. Cool. Then let me save his number. So the other thing is I want to know, so he's thinking, so a lot of great things. I also reiterated some of the stuff that he said, right, to confirm it. So he had mentioned, oh, you know, we got to start somewhere. It's a little high, right? I said at some point in our conversation, I was like, yeah, you know, you had mentioned like 279, it is high, right? Meaning he knows, like I'm setting up like, hey, I'm going to be like significantly lower, right? We're already reconfirming all these things so that it's not even us disagreeing with him or being like, yo, it's actually should be at this price. It's, hey, man, you already said this. Like, you agree with me. We're on the same page. Couple things. So he thinks it'll sell for 300, 315. I don't know about that. I really don't know. I've got to take a closer look at the comps. I don't think it would sell for 330. Like, this is a 2-car garage. We'll wait till we see the pictures. You know, if we look at a bunch of these other homes, like 2-car garages sold for 330. And way newer, right? This one's 94. This one's a 1988. You know, so ours is like 30 to 40 years older. If we look at something, so this is a 1950. Sold for 350 in November. Where was this house? Right around the corner. Let's take a look at this one. Let's see what this looks like. See if they have like anything crazy. Does this have a garage? Dude, it doesn't even have a garage. What? So the interior is nice. And guys, and again, what's like the massive thing that just like jumps out at you when we look at this house versus that other one with the 2-car garage that sold for 330? These pictures look freaking sweet. They look good. They look professional. They're bright. They're vibrant. You're like, oh man, this looks nice. Pictures make a big difference. I like this little fire pit. So, is that turf? I think that's turf. Did this thing actually sell for 350? All right, maybe Robert ain't so crazy. So they listed at 360. Now, this was a while ago. This was, yeah, you could be like, oh, it's a sold comp in November. Yes. But as a buyer, I would, you know, if they're smart, they're going to look at it a little deeper and see, oh, well, it really listed and was sold in October, which is, you know, again, just a little bit closer. So they're like, it's kind of more like last summer. That's how I would look at it, or at least I'd, you know, take that into consideration. But this is a really good comp for us. I don't think ours is 350 just because, like, I mean, this is the highest. Yeah, I don't think this was a flip. That's the other thing is you're going to get pushback from guys who are like, oh, but that's the highest comp in the area. That's what happened to us with Beachman, right? But it's good and it's helpful. It at least helps support his argument of like, yo, this thing could sell for 300, 315. Yo, anybody want a pile of trash for 145 grand? It's a good deal. Sold for 238. So like these are the houses that make it challenging. Like this sold for 220. This one sold for 238. And this was last summer. So we got to look at what are these ones like. Nope. But I don't think it's crazy. I don't think it's a crazy conversation. Now, a lot's going to come into the pictures that he sends. Let's see. Did he just text me? Great chat with you as well. I'll send you the pictures shortly. My email's this, so you'll know when the mail comes. Okay, great. Okay, great. Thank you. Also, I got a text back from that other like wholesaler that hung up on us. So I texted him. I said I can make a cash offer at 153.5 today, 153,500. And if you remember, they were like, "Yo, the price is 202 firm." And they text back. They go, "Price is firm. Last text unless full offer." So what are we gonna send? Thumbs up. You gotta have fun, guys. You gotta have fun. Okay. So yeah, we'll see. Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to take a look at the pictures he sends me to get a good idea of the interior. Ideally, the way I'm going to look at the property is I'm going to want to assume this type of rehab, because this is what I would try to pitch to my buyers is like do the nice rehab and sell it at this price, you know. And so whether the pictures he sends me are like, oh, it looks nice, probably a spam number from New York. So even if the picture's like, oh, it looks like a decent house, it's probably like it's not going to be this. I could be wrong, but I mean, he wasn't telling me that there's granite countertops and all this stuff. So it's probably going to need to be like fully redone and dated, you know, and probably going to need like a full rehab. And then the nice thing is, so the great thing is what he talked about with the branch on the roof over the porch. I want to see what that looks like in the picture. Sometimes stuff like that is like such a deal maker for you guys. And what I mean by that is, dude, some people will look at like a branch on a porch and they're like, oh my gosh, like trash house, we can't do it. And dude, it might be like, it could be less than like it could just be like a few grand, like $3-4 grand. Like it didn't structurally hurt anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like where it's not a big deal at all. It's just everyone else freaks out about it. And you're able to negotiate a really good deal because of it. And it's like, and then a lot of times is the sellers think like it's way big. You know, it's kind of like sometimes when you talk with sellers, you get one or two reactions. If you ask them like, hey, what do you think it would cost to like fix all this up? They're either going to be like, oh yeah, full rehab, granite countertop. They're like, I don't know, maybe like 7-8 grand, right? Or you get the other end of the spectrum where they're like, I don't know, probably like $80,000 to do like the kitchen and update the bathroom, right? And they're like, you know, it is pricey. So that's kind of all the stuff that's in favor for us with this house. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the pictures. We're going to take a closer look at the numbers, see where would we really need to be at. The nice thing is right off the top of my head, I think they would at least, I think he's thinking like 250-ish is what he wants. We're probably going to definitely need to be under that. Yeah, I mean, 100%. We're going to need to be under that. We're really going to want to be at like, it depends how buyers look at it. I would love to be at like 200,000. There's a chance we might need it for less. But it, and the reason why I say this is because like these comps at like 238, and let's take a look at this one. Where's this house? 375. This is over here. Let's take a look at this one. I was going to tell, you know, depending on how you look at the comps, but yeah, and then we're going to have that conversation with the agent and sort of tiptoe our way into that and be like, hey, you know, this is what we're looking at. You know, I might need to be in this range. The other thing is like, they really want somebody that can work. Like they need somebody like me. They can't, like a traditional homeowner isn't going to be able to buy this home and navigate that whole situation. Like, especially the other thing that I love is he told me a hard date of June 1st. Like they 100% want to be done by June 1st. We're about to start March. So that's kind of, that time's going to tick real fast. Let's look at this house. It's this house. Okay, definitely not a flip. So I'd say this is a very strong potential deal. All right, this is nice. Nice, but like it's like nothing crazy. Did it have a garage? No, it's just got a carport. We like that. Very similar style. I like this as a comp. And this sold for $375. Wow. So we might be able to push the envelope. Like I'm going to try and look at this 375 comp. People are going to give me a lot of pushback on it being in August, but I'm going to take that, and then I'm going to take the November comp. And then I'm also going to lean on people and be like, bro, I know you keep trying to tell me like, oh, things were different back then. But I really believe on like the positive side where I'm like, dude, things are bouncing back. Like 100%. Like it's at least at this. It's at least stayed the same. That's what I'm going to push. Because I'm also going to push like people that are looking at like November and December comps. You know, I had some conversation with buyers where I'm like, dude, it's also the winter time. Like it's not like, bro, the market was slow. It's like, dude, it's always slower during the winter time. What are you talking about? Like this is normal. You're like coming into summer. Like now it's gonna pick up. Like, and you know that's the case. So we'll see. I actually really like this lead though. So excited to see what the pictures look like, and then have some conversations. Now again, the nice thing is I'm not too worried about like. I actually really like when they're priced high because it's like, dude, like I'm not competing with 10 other guys. Like I'm trying to make an offer and get this under contract the same day because guys, they take a look at it and they're like, up too high. We almost did it. Up too high, not worth the call. And then you make the phone call and it's, I mean, how many times has this happened to us? This is like the second, third time in like a 2-week period. To where we called and they're like, oh yeah, no, it's I know we listed it for that, but like, nah, totally different story. So cool. Well, that is our time for today, 11 o'clock. I'm probably going to call that other agent on that other house I have under contract and try to renegotiate that. Maybe I'll try to record that for you guys if I can remember. Because that would be really good conversation to sort of see how do you renegotiate. How do you significantly renegotiate a contract with the seller? Or I'm sorry, with an agent. Cool. But otherwise, that is it for today, guys. Guys, really important. I am only live on YouTube. We'll only be live on YouTube from here on out. So tomorrow, but everything else stays the same. So 9 a.m. Eastern, 9 to 11 every single day. I will be here Monday through Friday on YouTube. So come check me out. Come back tomorrow morning. We'll be live. Probably, depending when he sends me the pictures, my guess is I'll probably look at the property and the pictures today, depending what time he sends them to me. And we'll probably be calling to make that offer tomorrow morning. That's what I would love to do with you guys. And I think that would be awesome. So, yeah, come back, stay tuned. And there's also going to be updates with the other properties and where we're at with the other deals. So, guys, have an awesome day. Go kill it. It's Monday. Get to work, make some offers, talk to some buyers, and I will see everybody tomorrow. All right, guys, have a good one.